Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be covering packing a ruck, the correct ways, incorrect ways to pack a ruck. I guess there's not per se an incorrect way to pack a ruck, but the way that I'm going to show you in this video is going to make the load feel a lot better on your back. The ruck that we're going to be packing out today is a Mystery Ranch Sat L. It's a pretty good ruck. It's pretty versatile. It's small, but it also holds enough for you to operate out of for, I would say, 48 to 72 hours comfortably. The ruck's going to get a little heavy, and it's not made to carry a crazy amount of weight. As you can see here, you get your bolsters for your plates to keep this bag centered. The shoulder straps are pretty comfortable for what they are. They're not super thick. It's more of a hiking style backpack, but the only thing you are sacrificing is the waist strap or the kidney belt, whatever you want, whatever you call it. It's not very padded and it's not very large. This ruck it's more of an assault ruck than anything, but I do prefer this a lot smaller. I usually don't use a waist strap anyway, regardless of the amount of the weight I'm carrying. It's more comfortable and it's easier to get off your back. So let's start with packing this center portion of the ruck here. We're going to start with, this is how I like to do it, right? You want to keep your weight high and close to your back. Now, the sleeping bag that I'm going to be packing here, which is right there, this is a Snug Pack. I think it's the Softy Elite 5. It's a pretty heavy sleeping bag already to start with. But I ended up stuffing it to the bottom because it's the last thing I'm going to get to. So you also want to pack in order of things you're going to need, right? So that's the last thing I'm going to be worrying about is sleeping. So in the world of combat survival, right? That's kind of the idea of the channel, is combat survival. I'm worried about surviving the gunfight, getting through the gunfight so that I can sleep in that sleeping bag at night, right? Now, we're going to pack it in that order and with weight in mind as well. So we're going to start with the sleeping bag and stuff this at the bottom. So this is a Snug Pack Softy Elite 5 in a Snug Pack Stratosphere bivy bag. So I'm not a stuff sack kind of guy. I like to just stuff the ruck. So we're going to do that. We're going to stuff this ruck with everything. That's how I organize, is by stuffing. So we're going to start there. We're just going to stuff this sleeping bag all the way down. Fill every crack and crevice in the bottom of this bag and try to get this ruck as tight as possible. Hopefully you guys can hear me over the sound of this sleeping bag. Now this sleeping bag is going to take up a majority of the ruck. Now, you just really got to push it down there. Stuffing in there nice and tight, right? You want to make sure you don't have any loose or empty spaces like I still do here, because I had the strap tightened up on the bottom. So we'll get it pushed down in there nice and good. So now, since we're thinking in the orientation of combat survival, right? Let's think of what else are we going to need next to survive a gunfight. The initial gunfight, we're going to need ammo, right? And this ruck is more than likely going to be on me until we break contact, or I'm sorry, until we take contact. So I'm going to drop this, if at all possible, when we take contact, if I believe that element we're going to be able to defeat, so I can come back and replenish if necessary. So I'm going to put my spare ammunition. So I have 3 30-round magazines preloaded, capped, ready to go. And I'm going to put these in the radio compartment of the bag so that I'm keeping that weight closer to my back again, as close as I can get it that way. And I also have just one spare pistol magazine. Okay, well, what are we thinking? What's going to be the next thing, right? Now, I don't have a Camelback in here right now to show you guys just for this loadout, but it has 2 sleeves on both sides for water. If you like, I'm not a Camelback kind of guy. That's why I don't have one readily accessible to me right now. But I would put my water source, right? So I can run 1 or 2, depending on how long your operation is going to be, or whatever you're building this bag out for. So Water is something I would put in here next. And then if you have any spare medical, I would also put that in this bag, because nothing else is really going to go in this compartment here. That's probably about it for there. And then I believe I have, I do. So this Snug Pack Stratosphere bivy bag has poles and stakes. So I will put these poles and stakes, which are very light. It's probably less than a pound in those poles right there. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna unbuckle these side straps as well and get this bag real loose and open, so we can just really shove stuff in here. Okay, so we got that in there. Now we're gonna go over more of equipment essential type of stuff to protect your equipment, right? You don't want the sleeping bag wet. Here's a ruck cover. So I'm gonna put this ruck cover somewhere accessible. I like using these tube pockets for that. So I'll stuff this in the bottom of one of these tube pockets. Okay, cool, we got that in there. Now that's gonna cover up my ruck and keep my equipment inside the ruck dry. Now the next thing, you probably wanna keep yourself dry, right? So we're gonna leave that readily accessible at the very, very top lid of the bag. So I just got this USGI Gore-Tex rain jacket, but it's more than a rain jacket. I would consider this an insulation layer from the wind, water, things like that. It will keep you dry and it will keep you warm, especially in the winter environment, layered with waffles or silks or both, whatever you prefer. I'm not a silk kind of guy. It's going to be waffles and some type of fleece top, or like a Patagonia A3 top underneath this. Then that'll keep that top from getting wet. It's nice and thick. It will keep you warm and accompanied with layers. So we're gonna put this on the top due to necessity to grab. It's quicker. Okay, so what else are we gonna need up there? I mean, field notes, right? These are really useful. So I throw this in here. It's in kind of a little like waterproof pouch. It doesn't have to be a Right in the Rain, but Right in the Rain is gonna be a lot better for a environment as such. So we'll put that up there. And then let's see, now I'm gonna put this in the top also. And the reason I put the saw on the top is for building concealment around a position, a fighting position, whatever it happens to be. Even if you're in a more of a urban environment, whatever you gotta cut portholes or murder holes in structures, in buildings. Obviously, sheetrock, regular stick-built structures. This will do something. So I'm gonna throw that in the top. And then let's also put another thing that's gonna be really important, water, right? So in here I got like water filtration. I got an MSR squeeze, and I have water filtration tablets, right? So that kind of covers your bases pretty well. I know there's a lot of other options out there, but I've been using this for a very long time. Before this, it was a Sawyer Mini, and now I switched to the MSR squeeze because it is much quicker to procure water. You obviously don't want to buy a body of water for a extended period of time. Everybody needs water, so there's going to be people buy water. So this is a quick in and out thing. I can't remember how many liters of water it moves a minute, but it's quite a bit compared to the Sawyer Minis. They're just not as fast. So this is a lot better for that. Okay, so we're gonna close that up because that's like important stuff there that you might want readily accessible. And I'm gonna so like this is my fire kit. We're gonna put the fire kit at one of the last things we're gonna need, because you're probably not gonna be building fire where you're gonna be getting shot at, right? That doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. It's gonna give away your position. So in here I actually have some fire starters. I got a lighter, I got some birch bark in a bag, I got chapstick, and I got the Strike Anywhere waterproof matches. I believe that's what they are, the Strike Anywhere. So I don't even know how old these are. I've had these forever. Yeah, but they're the long fused, slow burning, light anywhere. They're fantastic matches. So I keep those. in this little waterproof case. Not that they necessarily need to be waterproof. This also has a flint striker on the bottom. Don't know how useful that would ever be, but it's there. So this is going to go in the bottom here, along with cordage. We're going to put cordage in here. And then we're not going to have to put that in there, but okay, so here's kind of like a little snack kit, right? I got like a spoon fork set in here for MREs or whatever. For whatever reason, if I don't have utensils, 2 Cliff Bars and energy chews. So we'll throw that in there. Some little quick grab and go snacks, all right? So now that we got that based and set up in there, here's another thing you might want to have readily accessible. I got a, it's like a multi-bit driver, so weapon systems, multi-tools, knives, that type of thing. We got spare 0.3As, 3 AAAs, and a patch kit for the bivy bag, for the wet weather top, and any other equipment and gear that you have. And then I also have a microfiber towel for cleaning lenses, whatever you'd like to clean with it, really. And then this stuff can go on the other side, right? We got the bug repellent. It's non-scented, so it's odorless. We're gonna put that all on the other side of this bag here. Put all my zippers to the bottom here so that I can get to them, because this ruck is obviously not stuffed to the brim, so all your zippers will be up underneath the top flap. So we'll put this up in here, as well as our gas stove. Now this, again, another thing in the field. These are like comfort items, right? Having this gas stove, it's sweet. I can heat up water, I can make coffee, I can eat my food warm. Kind of nice sometimes. But we're gonna put that in there, and we're gonna put this right up in there. So those are kind of comfort items, right? And that little hygiene kit I just threw in there with toothbrush, the one-time use toothbrushes, and some ass wipes and such. Okay, now the next thing we're gonna throw in here. So keeping radios, cell phones, GPSs charged, right? I got this Goal Zero Nomad solar panel and the power bank. This power bank's fantastic. This will give you a couple charges on your phone. It'll charge GPS devices, radios, because obviously running Baofeng radios, not anything crazy, and no Motorola's, none of that stuff. So this will charge those devices and then put in cords and cables according to what you need. So that I just will stuff down on the top, because it's not as important. But if I'm able to pull out a sleeping bag, I can pull out the solar panel and the power bank to charge devices. Again, cable that goes with the solar panel so that you can charge the power bank. And then we're gonna pack food in here, right? So we're just gonna say 3 MREs, right? I can operate probably I could probably go 3 days on 3 MREs, but you can obviously go a lot less than that. But if you're turning out, moving quick, pushing a lot of load, and slinging lead, it's gonna be pretty tough to get away with 3 days on 3 MREs, because you're gonna be burning a lot of calories, especially moving a ruck. So we're gonna cinch this ruck up, right, nice and tight. I'm gonna stuff everything in here. And then, all our zippers are up and zipped. Okay, this ruck's ready to go. I'm gonna throw in that bore snake for the 9mm. You will probably want to have one for your main fighting rifle as well. I just don't have one here with me. So now that all that's done, we're gonna sling this up over here, and obviously top flap whatever you need, whether that's gas mask, the aid bag, and top flap all that stuff that you're gonna need to be readily accessible. The first aid for sure, so that CLS bag is gonna be very important to have access to as quickly as you possibly can get it. And something very cool you can do with these bags, so I'll leave this a little loose and I'll show you guys. Instead of having to flip it over the top, so I will grab this bag here. So this is the I think it's Faro Concepts, I can't remember what it is, but it's their A bag. So you can actually unbuckle this from the back side here, which is what I do. And then I'll make sure all the straps and all the bullshit is underneath this. And then you top flap it. Loosen these up. So obviously you're gonna need some room to get this thing under there because it's pretty chunky, but it's pretty ergonomic for how much shit it can hold. And it's plenty big enough for a team. Or even, you know, a smaller squad. It'll do the job. And then you just crank this bad boy down on top. And all your weight is up high and far back. That's what you want. And make sure these are all cinched up. So now, we need to access your aid bag, CLS bag, whatever. You can just pop buckles, and it's right there. Instead of having to try to deal with these buckles in the top and restrap it up, you could really realistically sling the bag still and carry this if you needed to. So that's all I really got on packing a ruck. It's the quickest, simplest video I could put out. It kind of checks all the boxes here with packing a ruck. It is a really simple task. Just think about where you're placing the weight and cinching all of these buckles down nice and tight because you don't want your load moving. If your load's moving, it's going to be uncomfortable. It'd be like rucking with 2 5-gallon water cans that are half full on your back. You don't want to do that. They're going to slosh, they're going to move, your gear's not going to be steady. And then also, you know, making sure you're tucking all your straps. You don't want to get caught on everything, right? That does you and your teammates no good. So packing a ruck is a really important skill, which is crazy that we, you know, would call it a skill, but it is, right? People overlook it and they're just like, I'll just shove all this shit in here and call it a day. You also need to know where your stuff is too. You can't just throw it all in there and expect when you need to in a second's notice to grab your aid bag that's shoved all the way at the bottom of your ruck. Now you have to empty your whole ruck to get to it. Think about that type of stuff when you're packing. Think mission oriented when you're going to be packing a ruck, right? So that's what I got for you guys. If you got any questions, concerns, comments, throw them down there. I will get back to you on them as soon as I can. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.